Alright, now we'll take a look at rendering to an image file. I grabbed my monkey mirror file for this exercise, but you can do with anything that you like. I'm going to make a few changes just for the sake of rendering. First, I'll set the mirror function on my plane to about 80%. I'll also go ahead and delete the hemi-lamp that I added to the scene. Next, I'll select my point lamp, and in my Data tab, I'll change its energy to about 3, and I'm going to switch it over to a spot lamp. Now, as happens, its position will do just fine, so I'll leave that as is for the moment. Lastly, I'll go to my World tab, and I'm going to change my horizon color to a full black, as well as turn on my Make It Pretty button, Ambient Occlusion. As this render will be dark by design, I'm going to use a very low setting, maybe 0.01. Now, what did all that have to do with rendering? Absolutely nothing, except to get a nicer looking basic scene. Okay, now rendering to an image file in Blender is actually pretty easy. To get a handle on what's going on, let's go to our first tab, the Render tab. By default, Blender renders to a standard letterbox resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels. And below that, we can see that we have a resolution setting of 50%. This is to help speed up renders while we're working. What it means is our actual resolution when we render will be 960 by 540, or half of our setting. Generally, you'll want to work with this 50% resolution, or even sometimes lower, until you're ready for your final render. Now, our resolution size is mirrored in our camera view. If I press numpad 0, we can see the outline of the image size displayed. It's important to note here that whatever you're creating, you can change your resolution size to pretty much anything you like. In this case, let's change it to 640 by 480. This is a standard VGA resolution. Notice how the camera shape in the viewport changes accordingly. If I hit F12 to render, we can see our image is pretty pixelated. I'll increase my resolution percentage to 100% and hit F12 to render again. Now we have a true resolution of 640 by 480. Above the manual entry, we do have a preset pull-down. I'm going to go ahead and use this and choose HD TV 1080 and return to my default pixel resolution. And for render time's sake, I'll set the resolution scale back to the default 50%. Now again, I can press F12 to render, or I can use the render button in my render panel. I'm going to go ahead and close my image viewport and hit F12 to render so that I can use my entire viewport. Alright, I'm pretty happy with this, so I'll increase my resolution percentage back to 100, and I'll hit render again. Now, I can save this image by going to my image menu and choosing Save as Image, or by using the hotkey F3. This will bring up Blender's file browser. Select the folder you want to save to. In this case, I'm going to select my desktop. Now below that, you can select what type of image you want to save. The default is a PNG, but there are quite a few to choose from depending on your needs. I'll go ahead and leave it at the default PNG. Next, I'll go ahead and name my image. I think I'll call it something like Monkey Spot. I'll click Save as Image once, and this will confirm the selection I've made. Then I'll click it again, and this will actually commit the actual save. I'll try to say actual one more time. Anyway, that will save our image to the desktop. And in this case, it's a full 1920 by 1080 resolution. There is one last thing I want to mention. If you look to the right of the preset pull-down, there are Add and Delete keys to allow you to create or destroy new presets. Alright, we've covered everything with creating a simple image, so I'll see everybody in the next video.